What happens when you deeply hurt a Sigma female? Many people expect an emotional explosion. They expect angry messages, public arguments, endless attempts to get even. But that's rarely how a Sigma female responds. In fact, her reaction is often so quiet that people mistake it for weakness. They assume she didn't care. They believe she'll eventually come back. Or worse, they think they've escaped the consequences of their actions. What they don't realize is that the Sigma female doesn't believe revenge is about making someone suffer. She believes reality does that well enough on its own. Instead of wasting months consumed by anger, she does something far more unexpected. She disappears from the conflict and begins rebuilding herself. She turns disappointment into discipline, heartbreak into wisdom, and betrayal into stronger boundaries. Ironically, that's often when the people who underestimated her begin realizing exactly what they've lost. Today, we'll explore 10 reasons why the Sigma female's silent revenge isn't about hurting others. It's about becoming someone they can never take for granted again. Let's begin. 1. She stops giving access to her life. One of the first things a Sigma female does after being deeply hurt is something many people never expect. She quietly closes the door, not with dramatic announcements, not with emotional speeches, simply with distance. She no longer shares every detail about her life. She no longer tells you what she's planning. She no longer looks for your advice or approval. The conversations become shorter. The emotional openness slowly disappears. Many people don't notice this immediately. They assume she's just busy or that she needs a little time. But what they're actually witnessing is the beginning of emotional detachment. A Sigma female understands that trust is earned. When someone repeatedly proves they can't protect that trust, she stops giving them access to the parts of herself they once took for granted. She isn't trying to punish anyone. She's protecting what remains of her peace. 2. She becomes completely unpredictable. People often become comfortable believing they understand someone. They think they know exactly how that person will react, exactly how long they'll stay, exactly how much they'll forgive. Then the Sigma female changes. Not because she's playing games, but because she's stopped living according to other people's expectations. She no longer reacts the way she once did. The arguments stop. The emotional explanations disappear. The constant availability fades away. Suddenly, the person who thought they knew her realizes they no longer do. And uncertainty is surprisingly powerful. People often spend more time thinking about someone they can't predict than someone whose behavior never changes. Her silence creates questions that no argument ever could. 3. She invests in herself. Instead, many people expect heartbreak to leave someone stuck. The Sigma female chooses another path. After allowing herself time to grieve, she begins investing in the one thing nobody can take away from her: herself. She learns new skills. She focuses on her career. She improves her physical and mental health. She reconnects with hobbies she neglected. She spends more time with people who genuinely value her. Slowly, her life begins changing. Not because she's trying to prove something to anyone else, but because she refuses to let pain become her permanent identity. This quiet transformation often surprises people. They expected someone broken. Instead, they find someone stronger than before. That growth becomes more powerful than any form of revenge could ever be. 4. She stops seeking closure from the wrong person. One of the hardest lessons the Sigma female learns is that not every question receives an answer. Sometimes people never apologize. Sometimes they never admit they were wrong. Sometimes they move on as though nothing happened. Earlier in life, she might have chased explanations. She might have needed one final conversation to understand everything. Not anymore. She realizes that waiting for someone else to give her peace only gives them more control over her life. So she creates her own closure. She accepts what happened, she learns from it, and she continues moving forward without demanding answers that may never come. This is incredibly difficult, but it's also incredibly freeing, because the moment she stops depending on someone else for emotional resolution is the moment she truly begins healing. 5. She lets time reveal the truth. The Sigma female understands something that many people forget in moments of anger. Time reveals character. She doesn't feel the need to expose every lie immediately. She doesn't rush to convince everyone who was right. She knows that consistent behavior eventually speaks louder than emotional arguments. If someone is dishonest, time usually exposes it. If someone repeatedly mistreats people, others eventually notice. If someone genuinely changes, time reveals that too. Because of this, she rarely wastes energy trying to control public opinion. She focuses on living with integrity instead. Ironically, this patience often has a greater impact than confrontation. While others spend their energy trying to manage appearances, the Sigma female quietly allows reality to unfold. She knows that truth doesn't always arrive quickly, but when it does, it rarely needs anyone to defend it. 6. She becomes emotionally unreachable. Perhaps the most painful realization for someone who hurt a Sigma female is discovering that she no longer reacts the way she once did. There was a time when your opinion mattered deeply to her. Your words could brighten her day, or break her heart. But after enough disappointment, something quietly changes. She stops allowing another person's behavior to determine her emotional state. She no longer waits for your messages. She no longer wonders what you're thinking. She no longer builds imaginary conversations in her mind, hoping things will somehow return to the way they once were. Instead, she begins finding emotional stability within herself. From the outside, it may look like she has become cold. The truth is much different. She has simply stopped giving emotional power to someone who repeatedly misused it. That quiet independence is often impossible to reverse. 7. She raises her standards. One painful experience can teach lessons that years of comfort never could. After being deeply hurt, the Sigma female doesn't usually become more fearful. She becomes more selective. She pays closer attention to consistency. She notices how people behave when life becomes difficult. She values actions far more than promises. The standards she once lowered to keep someone in her life are now firmly in place. She no longer ignores red flags because she hopes someone will change. She no longer confuses potential with reality. Some people interpret these higher standards as being too picky. In reality, they're simply the result of experience. She isn't trying to make relationships harder. She's making sure they become healthier. 8. She finds happiness without you. Many people secretly believe they'll always occupy an important place in someone else's life. Then they see the Sigma female months later. She's smiling again, learning, traveling, working toward new goals, laughing with friends, living a life that continues without them. For some people, this is the hardest part to accept. Not because she moved on too quickly, but because they assumed she couldn't. What they fail to understand is that healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means refusing to let yesterday define tomorrow. She carries the lessons with her, not the bitterness. And as her confidence grows, she becomes even more difficult to replace. Because now she's not only wiser, she's happier. 9. She never needs revenge. Here's the irony. The Sigma female's greatest revenge is that she isn't looking for revenge at all. She doesn't spend years hoping someone suffers. She doesn't obsess over proving who was right. She doesn't build her future around someone from her past. Instead, she puts that energy into becoming the best version of herself. She understands something many people learn too late. Holding on to resentment keeps you emotionally connected to the person who hurt you. Letting go breaks that connection. Forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation. Sometimes it simply means refusing to carry emotional weight that no longer belongs to you. That freedom becomes her greatest victory. Because while someone else may still be thinking about the past, she's already creating a better future. 10. She becomes someone they'll never meet again. Perhaps the deepest truth of all is this. The Sigma female who leaves is rarely the same woman who once arrived. Every betrayal teaches her something. Every disappointment sharpens her judgment. Every painful goodbye strengthens her boundaries. The woman who trusted too easily becomes wiser. The woman who ignored warning signs begins recognizing them immediately. The woman who feared being alone discovers that solitude can be peaceful. If someone eventually comes back, hoping to find the version of her they once knew, they're often surprised. She's changed, not because she became bitter, but because she grew. She learned that protecting her peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. And once that transformation is complete, there is no returning to who she used to be. Conclusion. People often imagine revenge as anger, conflict, or making someone else suffer. The Sigma female sees it differently. She understands that real strength isn't found in destroying another person. It's found in refusing to let that person destroy you. Her silence isn't a weapon. It's a boundary. Her distance isn't punishment, it's healing. Her success isn't designed to make someone jealous. It's the natural result of choosing growth over resentment. The people who underestimate her often expect drama. Instead, they watch someone quietly rebuild her life. She becomes calmer, stronger, wiser, more selective about who earns a place in her world. And that's what makes her silent revenge so unforgettable. Not because she made someone else pay, but because she proved that pain didn't define her future. She turned heartbreak into wisdom, disappointment into self-respect, and loss into a new beginning. In the end, the greatest victory isn't watching someone regret losing you. It's reaching a point where their regret no longer changes your life. If this video resonated with you, let us know in the comments. Do you think the strongest form of revenge is success, forgiveness, or simply moving on? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more videos on Sigma female psychology, relationships, and personal growth. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.